Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Business Innovators Radio. I am your host, Marco Salinas, and we have with us a very special guest today for another one of our business networking influencer segments as part of this podcast. I have here today with me Ms. Brenda Garcia from Empire Real Estate Team, and she is a real estate agent serving in this San Antonio, Texas area. Brenda, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much, Marco. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
So, Brenda, let's dive right into it. I want to know more about you and your business. So can you tell us about Empire Real Estate Team and how you're helping your clients?
Yes, most definitely. So Empire Real Estate Team, we've been in business for over 15 years. Our team, we're 9 agents now in total. We focus on empowering our agents through our real estate sales, but also investments. We're here to help every client to elevate that relationship and, of course, exceed those expectations. And at the end of the day, we want to establish those relationships as lifelong friends.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very, very, very important thing. Relationship building is everything, right?
Yes.
And so if you guys are very focused on the relationship, obviously that's going to make a big, big difference with all of your prospects and all of your clients. Can you explain to me what are some of the benefits and advantages of working with you, Brenda, as well as somebody or somebody from the Empire Real Estate Team?
Yes, so we do offer several services here with our group. Not only we do residential, we do commercial, property management. So we are a diverse group, and we help every client that comes in the way. We try to get them, like I mentioned previously, Marco, to the finish line to see what their goal is and hopefully accomplish them. Help them.
Yes. So you have in your team of 9, you have somebody that can handle pretty much every aspect of the real estate buying or selling process, is what you're saying?
Correct. Yes.
Got it. Yeah, that's very helpful. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk a little bit about myths and misconceptions that might be out there in the real estate world and the real estate market. Everyone knows that at the time of this recording, we are in the midst of a very challenging real estate market. Okay. The interest rates have gone up and the inventory, I think, is low or high right now. What would you call that?
Right now, I believe it was low back then, but right now I feel like it's still a little low. We do have a couple of homes that haven't sold just because of the market, how it's been shifting and the interest rates going higher.
Sure.
You will find a little bit more inventory, but
okay, got it. But there are still some definite opportunities, right, that are still available right now because of the fact that not a lot of people are doing that. There are obviously going to be some opportunities that exist because most people are just sitting on the sidelines right now. Right. So that being said, Brenda, what are maybe some of the myths that are out there, maybe that the media puts out or that people hear through different, through the industry itself when it comes to buying or selling right now in this present economic environment?
Right. Well, yeah, I've been asked, it's like, well, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to buy right now? What I've been hearing is, or I have clients reach out and it's like, oh, you know what? I'd rather wait. I'm going to wait because the market is going to crash. I'm like, what? Where did you hear that from? We've been hearing that 2 years ago and look at us now, right?
Right.
This past year, the values went up and they're still going up. It's not that the values are they're gonna drop. What is happening is where the prices are stabilizing. We hit that plateau where it's the value is just stabilizing right now, but in a couple of years, that value is going to be much higher and interest rates are still going up. So I think you can afford more of a home right now versus waiting on that long run.
Sure. No, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah, those are really important points of distinction that you brought up. And so thank you for Thank you for sharing those, because I think a lot of people have exactly those things in mind right now. They want to buy. A lot of people want to buy, but they have some concerns, right? So that kind of leads me to my next question. I want to talk a little bit about maybe some common fears, right? What are some of the fears that you see, as a real estate agent, especially with all your experience? And maybe how would you address some of those fears and maybe put people's minds a little bit more at ease based on your knowledge, your experience, your team, all of those things that you bring to the table?
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest fears is the interest rates being high right now and expected to go high in the future. But with what the market is going right now is you can lock in the sales price, the current value right now, versus if you wait, that value is going to go up. So it's about the saying that you marry the price, and you will eventually, you can refinance that interest rate. So it's a good time to buy. Always, when clients ask me when is a good time to buy, it's always a good time to buy. In the future, you can always refinance that interest rate.
For sure, yeah. Can you touch on maybe what is a potential pitfall or a potential mistake that maybe somebody's making right now by sitting on the sidelines? My thoughts come to mind that no matter what or how high the interest rate is, I still think that the interest is worse when you're renting, probably, right? So, I mean, I would rather have a high interest rate instead of just, being a renter and giving all of that to the landlord.
Yeah.
Right. Can you kind of maybe touch on that, like as maybe a little bit more on a pitfall or a mistake to avoid right now by waiting too long, potentially? What might happen if you wait too long?
Well, yeah, if you wait too long, you're not building that equity. You're paying somebody else's mortgage, especially if you're renting a home, right? That equity is, you're building someone else's equity on that house versus if you were to purchase. Now, even if the interest rate is higher, like I mentioned, you can always refinance. But in the long run, you're building that equity. You're building that investment on your own property. So I always emphasize, I even preach it to my friends and family. It's like, it's always a good time to buy. Stop renting. I don't say that you're throwing your money away because you have to live somewhere, but you're not building your empire, your portfolio of investments, right?
Sure. No, that's exactly right. And is that part of why you chose this name, Empire?
It's one of the biggest reasons why we chose it. Yes, we preach on it daily. And at the end of the day, we not just sell real estate. We want to invest in real estate because we want to build that portfolio. We want to build that nice empire, not for just us, but for our agents. We want to help them get to being such a successful person in the long run too, right?
Sure. Yeah. No, that's really cool. And I love that name. I love that name that you chose. It says a lot. Let me transition to a different direction. I want to know a little bit about you. I want to know a little bit more about Brenda Garcia, and why you went the route that you take, how you ended up in this industry, in this profession, right? What inspired you, Brenda, to become a real estate agent? Is there a story that you can share with us that ties into that?
Yes, most definitely. It's going to be my dad. I've been in business for myself 9 years. And what my dad does, he invests in properties. So when I moved to San Antonio, I had been here for almost 4 years now, and he was the one that implemented. It's like, hey, you need to buy a property. I can't be paying your rent for school from here till you graduate. You need to start building your own portfolio.
For
so
sure.
With that said, that pushed me to get my license. And at that point, I had just graduated college and I was struggling with money. So he's like, hey, I'll help you buy it. But I was like, you know what? I can do it on my own. So I hired a realtor. She started helping me through that transaction. But at the end of the day, for some reason, it fell through. But then 2 years passed and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my license and I'm going to buy my first house. Sure enough, I did at the age of 26. And from there, it's been it's been a blessing. I have my background in architecture, but I let that go because my passion was to help people, and I've been doing so since then.
That is awesome. That is very cool. What a cool story that you share, and tying it in with the impact that your dad had, right,
Right.
on you, and kind of seeing what he did probably had a lot to do with that. That leads me to the next question, and this may already kind of tie in with some of that, but what's a lesson that you learned, whether it be from your dad or from anywhere early on, that still impacts how you do business today?
A big lesson that I learned, I would have to say, it was him. If he didn't know, honestly, without having a license, and I look at him and I was like, well, if he can do it, and he has all these properties, because he retired at a young age, just buying properties left and right, and it's like, how is he doing it? And he started at such a young age that I can't do it. So with that knowledge, I was able to, and I'm still trying to learn as I go, but I want to be able to have that portfolio. And like I mentioned previously, it's like we not only help other clients, but we want to help them. We want to help our team build their empire by investing in real estate. Going back to that question is, he's been a reflection. He's been a good person that I follow, and I eventually want to get to his point one day.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that, Brenda. I want to talk to you a little bit from a different angle, and this would be addressed more towards people that might be considering joining Empire Real Estate, right? There's a lot of other realtors out there. We all know that. There's no shortage. But this economy has filtered some of them out. And so the ones that are still remaining are the ones that are really the go-getters, right? The ones that are really out there working the hardest, I would say, because there is plenty that work hard, but this one's going to really show the ones that work the hardest, I think. And I think as a broker, and you having your own real estate agency like this, you're always open to the idea of bringing more people on your team. Is that right?
Right. Yes.
So what are some important questions that an actual real estate agent should be asking themselves right now if they're maybe considering leaving the brokerage that they're working for, and maybe they want to see if maybe the grass is greener somewhere else?
Okay. Yes. So, I mean, we started our group not too long ago this year, actually in June, but it's been growing. It's growing really fast. We're now a total of 9 agents, and we preach on entrepreneurship. So we have part-time agents and full-time agents, but we want for you to work. Try to make your schedule work where it works to you, but we want for you to be successful in that way. Use your time wisely, utilize it, and we try to mentor you the way that how we try to eliminate the problems that we had in the past. So especially for our newer agents, avoid those issues and dive right into the right ones so that you can become successful quickly and efficient, using your time wisely, right?
Yes. And so it sounds like you guys provide a lot of support, right? A lot of open communication, right? If somebody is stuck on something, you're able to bring your years of knowledge and experience to them to help them get through maybe a challenging transaction or a challenging client. Any of those kind of things, right, is what it sounds like Empire Real Estate Team brings to the table.
That's right. Yes, sir. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. I got one more question for you, and then we'll wrap up. What's the most important thing that a buyer and seller of a home should consider when they're evaluating a real estate agent?
Marco, I've had clients that come to me with, hey, you know what? I'm not getting the guidance that I was getting over here, but I was referred to you by a client that you closed a home on, and gotten great feedback from you. So
very nice.
And honestly, it's the guidance more than anything is what we provide. We want to make sure that they're understanding the process.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. No, I think either on the buyer or the seller side, we all need hand holding, in some capacity. And that's the whole reason why, people hire a professional to help them, is they're looking for that expert guidance to walk them through it. And I think you really laid out a lot of that in this interview today. And I think that the information you shared is going to help a lot of people that may be interested in looking for a real estate agent to help them, as well as even a fellow realtor that might be looking to find a better home, right? That they can establish as their business opportunity and to grow as entrepreneurs, like you stated. So very good information, Brenda. Thank you very much. How can someone find out more about you and Empire Real Estate Team?
Yes, sir. So my phone number is 210-618-3238. And I do a lot of social media. So Instagram, it would be the page to go at Brenda Garcia Realtor. Our Empire Real Estate Team page would be Empire Real Estate Team on Instagram as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much again, Brenda, for sharing all this information. You've been an awesome guest. Like I said, I think this information is going to be very, very helpful for those that are looking to buy or sell a home specifically. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
And that'll do it for another episode of Business Networking Influencers Podcast. We will see you again next time.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.